And everyone, welcome to the show. We are going to have a nice sit-down discussion with a few chatty folks this evening. Hello, welcome everyone, and I do appreciate everyone watching. Hello to the chat. Hello to the VOD viewers. How's it going, everybody? This week we have the one, the only Katy with us. You are a 3D character artist, correct?
Yes.
All right, and that means that apparently I have to turn the volume up because everyone's yelling at me, so...
Do I sound okay?
You sound
no,
just
okay.
fine.
I
Okay.
think we're okay. This is all Pat.
No, yeah, it's all fine.
Oh.
Let me just check my volume levels. We're all set. Okay, good. Okay, so anyway, you are a 3D character artist, and that's always been really fascinating to me as a profession because you're able to take a blank piece of monitor screen and turn it into something really cool. Or as we talked off air, you deal with some models and that kind of stuff as well. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about just kind of your gaming history and whether or not you like anchovies on pizza. That's also a question coming up later on in the evening, so it's very important. But the co-host we have this evening is not Tim. I know we're all really, really disappointed Tim is not here. Sorry, everybody. But Tim is off somewhere on Mars. I'm not sure what he's doing. Top secret mission that I should not be mentioning. But, you know, hey, he told me not to mention it. I'm going to anyway. Kyle, or ex-Zappo, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good.
That's good.
Good. So, Katy, why don't we start off by telling everyone what your official role is at Motiga and how you got into the position.
So my official role at Motiga is making 3D character assets for the game. So most of the time, I get concept art from one of the concept artists, and then I model that in ZBrush, and then I transfer that to a low poly mesh, and then hand that off to the animation team so they can bring it into the game and give it like life. So it's, yeah, I guess that's my job. And then at Motiga, they were actually asking me for probably about a year to come join them, and then I finally did. It took a while.
So I'm guessing they had to offer you like a giant Nerf gun in order to actually work there, correct?
No, we get the little cricket guns because those shoot harder.
Oh, okay.
So
Nerf gun
sense,
war
makes
politics right here, guys.
yep, more power.
That's awesome. See, I
precision.
always thought it was the bigger guns that had the power, but I learned something today. It's the smaller ones. I guess that makes sense because if you look at Men in Black, the cricket gun had the giant explosion thing, and okay, yeah.
Good
That
point.
may have been their inspiration.
I'm
Definitely
okay
makes
with that.
sense.
I'm completely okay with that. So you joined Motiga, and how long have you been with the company?
About a year and a half.
About a year and a
I
half.
think.
All right, all right. What is your favorite part about working with Motiga, and who is the one person you would want to have on your team in a Nerf gun war?
I'm going to answer the second part first. I want Ted on my team because he's a crack shot and he's vicious, very vicious,
No,
relentless.
that would be Ted Lockwood, correct?
Yeah, that's right. He sits right next to me, so
That's awesome.
you'd think that would work out, except that means that lots of people are firing at him all the time, so I actually get a lot of crossfire
That's
of people
awesome.
trying to shoot Ted.
Well, you know, it's time to put up one of those folder barriers. Remember, like in high school, you used to put up folders around your test. Someone would cheat off of you. Classic. To be young again. Okay, so
I forgot the first part of the
that's
question.
okay, not a problem. What is your favorite part about working at Motiga?
Oh, just best friends all day, I guess.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's super, just everybody here is so wonderful to work with, and I feel so happy, and it's just like I can just talk to people about whatever, and everyone's your friend, and that's such a good positive feeling.
Yeah,
Like,
especially in the gaming industry.
Oh.
I mean, that's really rare to find a studio where you can just be like really, really chillax. I mean, so far all the developers we've talked to have literally been, this place is the best place ever. I mean, like you can just tell like you're legitimately happy. You're not like kind of like that awkward smile where you're just like, yeah, everything's going great, winky face.
Except that one guy. Ooh.
Yeah, except
You know.
except that one dude, Troy. He's a big pain in the butt, but you know. Ay vey,
That's
that's okay.
Troy.
That Troy, yeah, exactly. So the next thing I want to ask you, Katie, is in terms of 3D artist and that kind of thing. What got you interested in that? Because I know that, like in terms of the gaming industry, that kind of stuff usually is a really cool story rather than like sound design or editing or whatever. Like art has always interested me because the people's stories and their backgrounds getting into it always is always something like really unique. So I'm really excited to hear kind of like how you got into the field.
Well, I guess it's sort of I'm kind of weird maybe because I'm one of those people where I've always kind of known what I wanted to do, if not exactly what that specific job is.
It's not weird though. It's that's okay.
Yeah, well, I think most people sort of, they try a few things out and kind of find themselves. But I've always just been like, oh man, I want to make art. I want to make art. Art's going to be awesome. I'm just going to do it. And, my teachers can write me up for being annoying drawing in class as much as they want. I'm just going to keep making art because that's in my nature. Yeah, it's like, so growing up, I watched tons and tons and tons of B movies and tons of cartoons.
Hmm.
And I would say was addicted to television, not just enjoyed it, but was addicted to it. But it worked out for me, I guess. And so I think just that love of those things, but also being interested in them to the point of wanting to make them,
Hmm.
being interested in them to the point of, it's like, oh man, there's this thing in this movie I love. I think I could make that. That'd be
Okay.
cool. And then doing stuff on my own at home, whether it's drawing or sculpting or something, and trying to recreate maybe not that specific thing, but something like it that I knew would be like pretty cool for me at least.
Hmm.
And so for a long time, it was definitely like, I'm going to be in TV, I'm going to work at a creature shop, or I'm going to go to Disney or something, and maybe I'll be an animator, maybe I'll be, somebody working as an Imagineer, something like
Hmm.
that, something creative that had this kind of big impact that a lot of people saw because I know how the people making those things made me feel and how,
Right.
formative that is. Like, I wanted to do that too. But then, like, as I was growing up, video games started becoming like a huge just I think culture. When they were out originally, they were kind of a big, I would say, like fad in a way, and then they kind of like lulled, like arcades started slumping, but then home
Right.
consoles became like the big thing again.
Hmm.
So like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, those things are what I was really raised on in a lot of ways as a not a young child but an older child,
Hmm.
and that's the kind of thing where the art started getting pushed in that, and that's when I started going, oh man, oh maybe I should work on video games. That would be really cool. And specifically, the game Earthworm Jim was
Oh
the
wow.
first game I'd seen that had pushed the art to the point where I'm like,
Yes.
that's kind of like a TV show, except
Hmm.
you're not just watching a character, you're playing a character. I am that character. This is great. Like, so that's kind of what turned my eye towards video games. But I,
So a disgusting worm character was your inspiration to going down your career path. That is awesome. See, I told you, every art person has this really weird, unique story, and it's just I love hearing about that kind of stuff. So go ahead, Katie. What else has like been like your building block or foundation for your particular style?
I mean, really Disney cartoons, all the old ones, the really old ones, and I'm gonna say anime,
Okay.
but I think that carries some baggage with it that might be misleading. It less modern anime, more the old school
Like Cowboy
stuff.
Bebop type of thing?
So, like as modern stuff, Cowboy Bebop's definitely been an influence, but more like there's obscure stuff like Unico and the Island of
Okay.
Magic.
All right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, which were these wonderful, I guess children's movies that came from Japan, and
Hmm.
I don't know if it was the late '70s or early '80s, and I loved watching those, and things from Europe like The Last Unicorn, just
Okay. Yeah.
absolutely wonderful, and I could watch that stuff forever. Like that stuff is a huge influence, and probably nods to some of the weirder things that I do when I draw.
Hey,
Um,
that's
'cause,
okay.
but then just the awesomeness of those old Disney movies and how
Hmm.
powerful they are, especially the really, really early ones, before they became, I think, more when they're more timeless and a little less modern flavored,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
like
Hmm.
so like Snow White, Dumbo, things like
Yeah.
that, where you can watch those now, was it 60, 70 years later, and you just be weeping, and you're just like, I don't understand why.
Bambi gets me every time. I hate that movie because of that stupid one scene, or the Lion King. Lion King is
Lion
my
King.
all
Oh,
time
come
favorite.
on.
Every time
The,
his dad dies, I'm just like.
I grew up in a different generation, so
Yeah.
the,
Lion
the
King's
lion
not
the
my favorite.
lion the Lion King is my all-time favorite
Hmm.
animation ever.
Yes,
Um,
that's awesome. It's so
and
good.
I'm not saying everything about it is perfect, but in so many ways it is a perfect movie, and it hits all the right notes, and it
Hmm.
has perfect pacing, and I could just
Yeah.
watch it forever. And it's like over time some of the art's gotten a little like, oh, that didn't age as well as other parts of it, but it's so beautiful, and the songs are really, really good. I
Songs
mean,
are great.
They're awesome.
some of them can annoy some people, but it's just wonderful. And like, I judge a lot of movies and cartoons and anything by the strength of the villain,
Hmm.
and Scar's lovely.
Scar's
I
amazing.
I love Scar, and I love every iteration of that character. Like, basically, that character is Jafar
Yeah.
also, and I love Jafar for the same reasons. He's this oozy, wonderful villain, and
Hmm.
those are usually my favorite characters. Or usually the villains, not the good guys.
Usually they
Which
stand out more too if they're done really well. I mean, like you mentioned, Scar, Jafar, those two are just like super hyper iconic characters in the villain world. I mean, like anyone, even Kyle, you could see a picture of Scar, uh,
Oh yeah.
Jafar, and be like, I know what they're from. I know who they are. So it spans generation after generation. I mean, it's kind of like the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. I mean, you just instantly know who that is. I
She still
mean,
gives me
it's
the
just yeah, she still gives me the
she
heebie-jeebies,
still
but
freaks me out a little bit.
yeah, yeah. Kyle,
yeah.
I know you had a couple questions for Katie, so I'll go ahead and fire a couple of those off for you.
Yeah, so since we're talking about cartoons and games and everything, so I think an obvious question for you, Katie, is what's your favorite cartoon of all time? Now that might be hard. And what's your favorite game?
Oh, jeez. Oh, my
Hard questions
favorite.
here.
Yep.
So I mean, my favorite like movie cartoon is Lion King, easy. But my favorite cartoon that like I could watch forever and ever. Gosh, I don't know.
There's so many to pick from. Yeah.
There's so
There's
many
so
good
many.
ones.
There's so many good ones.
Okay, pick five.
Pick
Mm.
three. Top three.
Top three. There we go.
Top three.
Oh, my top three. I don't even know.
All right. Well,
Sorry, my brain's.
welcome.
Let's talk about other things, and
Sure.
I'll
Yeah.
think
Well,
about them
Okay,
a
we'll
little
save
bit as
that
I
for the
get to
end.
them.
We'll throw that for the end. Okay, wait. I'll throw a spin on it for you. What cartoon or like animated movie do you think had like the best art style? From you being an artist, like what one do you think just stood out as like that they just nailed that dead on to the style of movie they were going for?
Oh man.
Animation, 2D, anything you want to do.
What was it? I think like I loved as more recent things, Sword and Sorcery, where they essentially they made that game look like a tapestry. I think people
Yeah.
think of it as pixel art, but I think of it as a living tapestry,
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was like,
that's amazing. I still like I get how you do pixel art, but I
hmm.
still don't know how they made it feel so good. It's just everything's well timed, the music's wonderful, and it just feels like rich, and I'm there. There's no separation, like, oh, I'm a video game character. It's like this
Right.
world's weird. Let's figure it out,
Yep.
and that's super great. As far as like really stylized things, this is one of my problems. When I get asked like a direct question, my mind just goes, "What?"
Yeah, that's why I like talking to artists because you guys have like the hardest time answering questions. It's awesome
Oh my God.
because when I interviewed Ted, he was like, "I don't know any of these questions. I'm gonna have to think about these." It was awesome. I love talking to artists. It's
Deer
so
in the
much fun.
headlights interview.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Well, mainly because your guys' mind works a lot differently than ours because you guys see the world in like thousands of different colors. So I mean,
Yeah.
like if you were to look at a painting and me and Kyle were to look at a painting, you would find something completely different
Different.
than we would, because you're able to picture it from a just a higher, I guess more of like a higher kind of peak than we are, since you're able to. You have that art mind. Like I can draw a circle, but it usually looks like an oval. So like I'm not artistic in any way possible. But I mean, it's really cool to see the amount of creativity that you guys have brought into the game itself. I mean, just looking at all the PAX footage and the screenshots you guys have on the website, and I mean even the fan art that you guys have inspired through some of the fans that people have drawn. I mean, everything is just like it's vibrant. It pops out. It's really really cool.
It's awesome.
While
we're on this topic,
yes,
I
go
don't
ahead,
want to
Kyle.
lose my question.
Sure.
Now I always try explaining Gigantic's art style to people because, like, if you've never seen it, it's hard to like explain it. So this might be a hard question again, Katie. But how would you explain Gigantic's art style to someone that's never seen it before? Because you guys have a very distinct art style compared to other games out there, I think.
I like to think of us as being sort of like, what if you threw Street Fighter into a Pixar movie? Like
That needs to happen now.
That actually, I can see that though. I can actually see that.
I think of us really as like being a fighting game style, and having things be about the focus of who that character is and what they are. And then in fighting games, you have these like, or Street Fighter style games, you have these like really high rendered backgrounds. There are people just hopping around behind my monitor, driving me crazy. It's pretty great. I got a bunch of kangaroos back here. But you know, it's like you have these very rendered, detailed backgrounds, but then the characters are very clean, and some of that's economy, but so much of that is the read of the character. And so, you know, we're deliberately popping our characters off the background, trying not to blend them too much, and then making them sort of focus on what they do a bit. It's kind of like the ideals of a fighting game, but then also trying to, you know, consider movie language for characters, about overall shape and what that feeling is like towards things. And not all of that is necessarily in the silhouette of the character as they're drawn, but some of it's in the, you know, animated silhouette of the character. So where that language comes through. So there's always different spots that we can kind of have that visual conversation with the audience. And I think that's why some of the characters, like, you know, resonate so powerfully with people so far.
Yeah.
You know, like, you see Swift, he's cool. He's so cool.
Like visually, he's one of my most favorite heroes that you guys have designed so far. And when I found out at the PAX panels, he didn't have an arm. He only had one arm. Like that was just like
Throws me off every time.
I was like, wait, he only has one arm?
Yep.
That's
I can't look at
awesome.
him the same. It's just like that
what,
arm's not there.
what characters did you help design so far? That of course you are allowed to disclose.
so the ones I helped like really more specifically design were Charnock,
Okay.
the dragon like centaur guy. But pretty much all the characters are sort of a group conversation here.
Oh, cool.
And so, well, not all of us are drawing them. We're definitely all commenting on what's going on, and, you know, having conversations where we're like, okay, we like what's happening here. Let's kind of evaluate it as a group and figure out, can we push it more? Are we being more conservative than we think? Are we going too far sometimes? You know, and that's kind of ongoing. For instance, the Vodin, the gear guy, his first model was much more detailed than it is now, and I've actually gone into him probably 3 or 4 times to clear out the noise. And so if you look at his mane now, it's kind of like 3 chunks instead of little pieces of fur, and his tail is kind of like one shape and 2 shapes, and then 2 shapes that echo each other to just kind of get simple, where before it was many fur pieces. Stuff like that.
What kind of like started him off? He seems like he's like a lot of different animals just mashed into one, but it works so perfectly. Like, I can't explain it, but like, what kind of like sparked that inspiration for you guys? If you can talk about that.
I'm not sure specifically. Vinod designed him, where that came from, but I think he was just sort of like, oh, you know, I wanted to do a nature guy in the forest. He's got a bow and arrow, and I think there's definitely an influence, you know, even from Disney, from Robin Hood, You know,
Yep.
it's like
He does kind of look like him. Yep.
I think of him as Robin Hood, but he's sort of he's not a fox, he's not a deer, he's kind of a blend of creatures, because we don't want the animals or animal people in this world to look like a one-to-one with any realistic Earth creature, because there's a line. One of the lines we've drawn in the sand is there's fairy tale and there's fantasy. And the difference is fairy tale is like a cat standing on its legs wearing boots and a hat versus a cat creature doing the same thing. That's where that line's kind of drawn for us.
Okay.
So we push into, I think, fable territory a little bit, which kind of adds charm to our game, but we don't cross lines like that that are very literal to Earthworld.
Okay. So what the fox says did not inspire that character in any way.
He predated What the Fox.
Dang it! I was like, it's his theme song. Yes. Please don't. No.
You should ask Vinod what he sounds like, because Vinod would give you a great voice.
I will take you up on that challenge when we get around to him. I will definitely put that in the brain for later. Another question I was really kind of curious about is, you said you do 3D modeling. Now you said, do you work with clay a lot of the times when you do that, or is it like a polyester kind of base type of material?
So when I at work, it's all digital.
Okay.
So it's all ZBrush pretty much, and then doing low poly modeling in Maya or Max. I use Maya because I used to use Max, and I got trained over to Maya. So now I'm just like, I just want to know one. And then at home, I do. I have oil-based clay, but I prefer using a substance called wed clay, which, what's the word for it? Silicon, I think, is mixed into the clay, so it retains moisture longer, and it's just buttery smooth. You can carve into a more wonderful surface. Like, it's perfect. And one of the things I liked when I first started using ZBrush is it was the closest thing I'd ever felt to wed clay digitally. I was like, this feels buttery in a digital way that other programs have not.
Okay. Now, did you guys? So all your models are like, is it all computer based, or did you guys actually make models and like scan them like with a 3D scanner at all, or is it mainly just like computer work?
It's all computer work.
Okay.
It'd be fun to make maquettes
Right.
beforehand, but when you do that, when you create the thing and then scan it in, it doubles the amount of work, I would say, because you actually have to clean it up.
Yeah, that's true.
In 3D after the fact, because it comes in
parts.
garbage geometry. It's all patchwork, and you just have to rebuild it anyway. So it's like, why not just rebuild it?
That's fair.
There, and for me, that's a slower process and expensive. But Joe Pickup, actually, he has a 3D printer at home, so he's been printing out some of our little guys. It's so cool.
He's my new best friend.
I want one of those.
So cool.
That's really
I do
cool.
too.
That's awesome. Oh man, you know what? You guys can start your own merchandise store here soon. So get on that.
Cool. I would
I'm
love
already
that.
throwing my money at the screen.
It's not working.
Just take it.
That's awesome.
I would also throw my money at the screen. I like what we're making here.
Very nice, very nice. Troy has no idea about this. He's gonna come to the meeting tomorrow and be like, "Wait, we're starting a merchandise store?" Yeah. We decided on last.
Yeah, we had a meeting last night.
We had a meeting last night.
I don't know where you were, Troy, but it happened.
Ali said it was okay.
That's awesome. Oh man. Okay, so next question, Kyle. I'm gonna give you the floor here, sir.
Oh gosh, you put me on the spot.
Okay, well, I'll come back to you.
Yeah, give me a couple minutes.
Now, the next question that I have is a very, very probing and deep one. Do you like anchovies on pizza?
I do.
Well, okay, wow, was not expecting
Wait,
that
what?
answer.
And I'm particular about it. I prefer it
Really?
if it's anchovies and walnuts.
What?
I'm speechless.
Anchovies and walnuts
On a pizza?
No. Does that...
on a pizza
Okay, so
with the cheese, because it's oily, stinky fish, and then the tannins from the walnuts and
Okay, that
nut,
just
nut
sounds
flavor, and then the
Oh.
cheese is melted together. Oh, it's so good.
Wow, that sounds really yummy.
It's really delicious.
is there
Oh,
any
but maybe
other?
a little bit of feta cheese in there would also be good.
Is there
I don't even know what to say to that.
Oh,
is there
okay,
any
so-
other weird food you like?
Wait. But I do not like pineapple on pizza. I hate it. It's gross.
Well, you know, that's
That's,
actually
like,
really
awesome.
normal. A lot of people don't like.
I don't want it to be dessert. It tastes like
Yeah,
fruit.
yeah, yeah.
I can't
My
take the
mom.
pineapple off because it still tastes like pineapple.
Yep, my mom
true.
loves pineapple and ham on pizza. And I'm just like, Mom, why? Just
No.
order it on a piece of cake or something. Oh my
Ham on a cake.
gosh.
That's not.
That pound cake with some pineapple in it. That's great. I'm on board with that.
Tet from chat wants to know, Katie, what has been your favorite creation so far with Motiga?
Oh, probably the griffin. I
All
like
right.
the griffin.
The
I like
griffin
tubby birds. And I want to hug
Tubby
its neck.
Now,
Yeah.
now, is that his official name, Tubby Bird? Then?
I think his name. Joe. Hey Joe. What's the griffin's name? No. What's your name for him? Chicken. Oh, big chicken.
Okay, hey, that Big Chicken. It's official. You guys heard it first. Big Chicken is the Griffin's
Big Chicken.
official name.
When the griffin came crashing through the wall in the trailer, I was like, "Oh God, yes!" That got me so
Yeah.
hyped. I was
Oh,
like,
that's
"Awesome."
awesome.
I was so happy when we decided it was going to be the griffin doing that too. Because I'm like, yeah, it's mine.
Nice. Okay, so you actually had a hand in designing that then.
Yeah. So I guess Charnock and the Griffin are ones that I primarily designed and modeled. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, Charnock to me looks like a really interesting character. Also, fun fact, Charnock sounds a lot like Arbok from Pokemon, and I don't know why. I've
It
always
does.
made that connection. Also, fun fact, Arbok is Cobra backwards and Ekans is Snake backwards. So, and there's Pikachu.
I never picked up on that. I never picked up on that.
I mean,
Has it been 20 years of Pokemon yet? I think
Yes.
it has.
it's oh my gosh, yeah, wow, I'm old. Holy crap.
Now I feel old,
Yeah,
right?
I really
20
feel old.
years?
Yeah, that's
Wow,
weird.
that's been around like my whole life. Wow, that's weird. Now you guys made me feel old, and I'm only
Can I-
19.
You're only 19. Shut up.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
What kind of Pokemon are you?
Oh goodness me. I like to. Wow, that's okay. So
Definitely a Jigglypuff.
hey, she's deadly in Super Smash Brothers, sir. So
Oh, I'm
now,
sorry.
if we're talking like the 150 generation Pokemon, because that's about all I really remember. I don't, memorize the 950 ice cream cone versions of Pokemon that there are now.
There are a lot of Pokemon now.
I would probably picture myself as, gosh, that is a really good question. Probably Raichu, where I'm a little round, around the middle, but I can still kick some ass. So now I'm gonna turn that question back to you, Katie. What Pokemon are you?
Well, identify the most with Mewtwo.
Okay.
Because the
That's
first time I saw him,
terrifying.
so here's
Yeah, I'm
this is
afraid
so
of you
dumb.
now.
I'm playing my Game Boy Color right when that came out, and I go into that cave where Mewtwo is, and I had to put the Game Boy down because I got so scared.
Really?
I don't know why,
that's amazing.
but it really scared me because I was so worked up, like it's the last thing, and I go in there and it's all dark. I'm like, put it down. And I was really scared of him for a while, and then I calmed down and got him.
He was intimidating until I realized, oh wait, I have the Master Ball. Yeah.
Yep. But I still wasn't confident enough to think it would work, even though I knew it should.
Right.
I was like, maybe what if they pull one on me? I don't know. But I like him because he scared me. I guess.
That's cool.
Now, is this a bad time for me to say I never beat a Pokemon game in
No,
my
it's
life?
it's not because you're only 19, so
Okay.
it's a generation thing, dude. It's okay.
Also, it's like if you play the game for about an hour, you kind of got the gist of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's addictive, and I think I've played through about 5 or 6 of them completely.
I stopped when the DS stuff came out because I don't have a DS because PC gaming is expensive.
Well, I played through Red, Blue, and Yellow, which are all pretty much the same, identical game, except for little tweaks here and there.
Pikachu
I
follows you
played
around.
those.
I know Pikachu
remember
follows you, so cute.
It's awesome, and I'm still trying to get X and Y, but there's no emulators that works. Oh gosh, who's the scary man behind you?
those. Troy.
There's someone.
She doesn't even notice.
Troy, I saw your secret picture. I was looking at pictures on his desktop.
Oh, that's terrifying. I'm so sorry about that.
It's the worst thing I
Yeah,
ever saw.
you should never ever go through his pictures on his desk.
It's like now I know what Troy's into.
Yeah, it's just weird stuff. Okay, so we actually had another question from chat.
He's
Holomosh,
dying.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Holomosh, aka Doc, wants to know. Curious about the development process. You mentioned that content creation is a group process, but generally, how long does it take for concept to move to an idea to playable build? Now, obviously, if you can't go into too much detail, we understand, but
It varies
Okay.
wildly. I would say like Swift, like he's like pretty much one and done. Like nailed it.
Really?
Yeah. And then other guys, it was like kind of like months long process. Is this the one? Is this the one? I don't know. Let's redo it. Like
Swift was a one, and that's baffling to me because he only has one arm.
so this
But
is
didn't he start with 2 arms, and then you guys were like, oh, the cape's like
no,
covering it?
no. I think he had one arm from the beginning. You'll have to ask
I
Devin.
specifically remember,
I
or
thought there was something with the
yeah,
cape. They
from
said at
from
Matt.
the I thought from the panel they said that they had. No, 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 no. She's right because I don't remember.
Yeah, I
If
don't
someone in
remember
chat
how-
can correct us because I don't remember that specific detail in the panel. But
Yeah.
no,
So,
I mean
well,
she's probably
what
right.
Well, here's what happened with him. Basically, we were looking for another concept artist, and we had a test, and it was Devin's test, and he nailed it. Swift was his test.
Oh wow.
He made Swift for the test, and we're like, well, hire that guy. That was amazing. Let's make it. We have to.
Wow, that's impressive.
Like, it's a good concept artist.
So he was made during like the hiring process. That's incredible.
Yeah, that pretty much never happened. And he did like a little bit of revision after that just to kind of bring him more into the style we were going for. But I mean, it's like, yeah, that guy, sword guy, go for it.
All right.
You got another question out of chat. Someone wants to know who designed my boy Uncle Seven Steven.
Oh, the nod.
Yes.
Sven.
Yeah,
Sven.
Sven. That's it, Sven.
Yeah, Vinod designed Sven.
Awesome. He's actually one of my favorite.
guy.
Yeah, he's actually one of
Yeah.
my favorite character designs that we've seen so far.
We call him Water Balloon Man.
I mean, he's just like this. He looks like a very energetic and bouncy character, just because like his roundness and like his screenshots of him going woo. So I mean, it's really really cool to see some of the characters designed in a specific way. And I'm really curious and really can't wait to see what they are actually like in game, like how they interact. So I think that just based off the character designs, I'm just really excited to try this game. I'm like, open beta needs to come as soon as possible because I'm just like, I have to play.
I really want to be playing with more people because
I'd
it's
love to play.
because we play in house all the time, and so I'm kind of playing with the same group,
Yeah.
and that's super fun because like we know each other, but when you're thrown into kind of random situations, like that's kind of cool too, because you're just like, oh god, what's going on? This is crazy. Oh man, because everyone's like, you got to go and chat together. You got to talk, everybody, coordinate.
That's understandable. I mean, yeah, I mean, you guys as developers can only trick each other so many times. So, because eventually you guys all learn each other's whatever little quirks and strategies. So, Kyle, I know that we were waiting to get to you for your question as you were thinking about it. So I hope I've given you
I
enough
was
time.
in deep thought about that, definitely.
You still don't have your question.
Yeah, I'm just having fun talking.
I'm disappointed in you, sir.
Hold on, let me find my 20 questions and we'll play
okay.
a quick game.
All right. Anyway, so Katy, the next thing I want to talk about real quick, or maybe it'll divulge into a giant conversation, is are you a big ice cream eater?
Yeah, I'm less so now because I made a rule. I can't take ice cream home. No ice cream. No ice cream can be in the house.
My wife needs that rule because it usually is gone in about a day and a half.
So if I'm out and about, I can have ice cream, but I can't go out of my way to get it.
Okay.
So I have rules about it. Otherwise, I would just eat all ice cream because it's so good.
It
I
is
live-
very good.
Oh my
Wait,
God. There's this place I live really close to called Molly Moons,
Mhm.
and they make like it's like artisan ice cream, and it changes like every month or two to seasonal
Ooh.
flavors. They have salted caramel, and it's the best salted caramel ever. I can just eat it all day, and like an Earl Grey lavender, and it's just like
Wow, that sounds like
creamy, yummy. They have one called Girl Scout Mint. It's a mint chocolate chip, but then they make really amazing. Anyways, whatever. I'll just eat ice cream forever. It's so good.
okay.
well, I
So
got my question.
all right.
What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Oh, Samoas.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like if that's not your favorite Girl Scout cookie, there's
I
a
like the
problem.
peanut butter one.
You're not.
They're
I guess
good.
that's just me.
They're good. They're peanut butter cookies. But like the thing about peanut butter, it's like, is there peanut butter in this? It tastes like peanut butter. Sweet. Samoa's it's like chewy and coconutty and chocolatey,
Caramely, and just-
caramelly.
it's so good. It's
And
wonderful.
you can't just get them. And there's other cookies that are kind of trying to be them, but they're not as good because
Yeah.
it's buttery too. Yeah.
I'm extremely convinced that there is some sort of drug in those cookies just to make them just that much better because it's like I've bought other knockoffs and I'm like, it doesn't taste the same. What's different and all that? I'm sure the Girl Scouts are going, yeah, if only they knew. Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Well, hey, it's like going to a bake sale and you don't ever buy the brownies from the people with bandanas on their head because usually there's lots of things in there that you shouldn't eat. My buddies learned that the hard way at a school bake sale once.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Why are these brownies so expensive?
Well,
Whoa.
no, actually, they were really cheap. That's why he bought
Really?
them. Well, yeah, I mean,
Oh.
the people that were selling them were higher than a kite, so they didn't know any better. But yeah, it was
They thought they were
interesting.
getting like $1 million.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because he called me freaking out. He's like, "Am I gonna go to jail?" And I'm like, "Just stay home. You're fine. You're not gonna die." Anyway, so let's remove the conversation and not talk about drugs anymore.
I thought we were talking about brownies.
But
Delicious,
brownies
delicious
are
brownies.
delicious as well. So speaking of ice cream, have you ever had pickle ice cream?
I have not.
No. Okay.
The sweet and sour sounds good. So
All right. Kate, can you do me a favor? Put your hand in front of the webcam so it refocuses. Thank you very much. You're good.
oh hey, whoa, yeah,
There we go.
that's a lot better.
Okay, so you haven't had pickled ice cream. That's disappointing. I've tried it before and it's awful.
I've eaten a lot of weird stuff.
I have too. I have a habit of just saying yes to free food all the time, and it's usually a good thing, but then it can end up as a bad thing. So,
I had my husband bring me back a can of silkworms from South Korea. And I ate those.
oh gosh, that's
Yeah. I
why.
ate a chocolate-covered cricket once, but that was
No, that's not the same.
It's not.
Silkworms taste like old socks, and they make everything taste like old socks for like a long time.
Why did you
Next
eat it?
question: you ate old socks before?
I've smelled old socks.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
so
who
it makes
hasn't?
sense.
Okay, so my next question is, why did you eat it?
Because it looked interesting and people eat them over there. I'm like, well, if everyone's eating them, they must be delicious.
Did
And
it,
I don't know if I just had them the wrong way or what.
did it
I also-
look just like a little worm?
Oh,
Just
no,
like-
it looked nasty. It looked like a little brown
Okay.
thing.
Anyway,
Oh,
that's
yep, I'm good.
That's.
And it wasn't like one, it was like a bunch of them. I was like, God, these are terrible.
How many did you eat?
That's so
Kind of like,
gross.
it's like
Stop.
imagine an old
Why?
sock that's full of damp fingernails.
What?
It's just-
Oh my
Stop.
god.
That's so wrong. Anyway, question from chat. Dear sweet mother, your name is longer than like the alphabet.
is that?
Jen. I'm gonna call you Jen, or Steve.
Jen?
Have either of you ever had tried deep fried ice cream? So, Katie, have you tried deep fried ice
Yep.
cream? I have not. What's that taste like?
So I had it tempura fried, and that was very delicious. It's just really hot on the outside, really cold on the inside.
Okay.
So I would say it's fine, but I'd still rather be eating a donut and some ice cream rather
Yeah.
than trying to combine them into one thing where the ice cream's melting and you're like, no, gotta eat you.
Yeah, I've had deep fried Oreos, pickles, jalapenos, and butter. The butter just tasted like a biscuit. The jalapenos were fantastic, and so was everything else. But it was like eating 4,000 calories in like one bite, but it's worth it.
I had a deep fried peanut butter sandwich one time, and it took 4 of us to eat it, and we all felt like awful for the rest of the day. It was delicious, but it was just all the grease had just soaked into the bread, and you're just like, ugh.
Ugh.
That's
It's
that
so good, but
sounds
I
so
hate
good.
myself.
It's like, all right, here's more. Let me just get a couple of marshmallows.
It's
Yeah,
as good and as terrible as you want it to be.
that's awesome. Hey, don't try and deep fry a popsicle. It does not end well. Because
Oh,
it
oh.
just
It's
well
just a
what
stick and some fry.
well no because the batter doesn't harden fast enough, so the popsicle melts, and water in deep fried batter just is really dangerous, and it just went and bubbled
What
everywhere.
what if you cooled the popsicle in liquid nitrogen first?
That would be amazing. I need to try that.
That sounds even more dangerous. Okay,
It's
go for it, Pat.
that's the point.
I don't know.
Dangerous is fun. Come
All right,
on.
Katie. So you've eaten a lot of weird things. Now we heard the silkworm. The pizza thing still throwing me off a little bit. But what?
It's not
besides
everybody's
the-
thing.
Besides the silkworms, what's the weirdest thing you think you've ever eaten?
Okay, seriously, like how can she top that?
I don't know. That's what I want to know. She might be
don't-
able to top it. She's just not
See,
telling us.
I feel like it just depends what your bar is for weird, because some things sound weird here, but aren't really that weird. Like guinea pig, ate a guinea pig,
Yeah,
and that
guinea
was, yeah, I was in South America, and they serve cuy, which is guinea pig, and
I mean,
that was,
it's not really
Ed-
that
Did it
weird.
taste like chicken, or is that
It-
just a myth?
it tastes about chicken-ish.
Chicken-ish.
Ooh, I think it did that again. About like chicken, but the thing is, you can't really get all the fur off of it, so its crispy skin is also kind of hairy. So you just have to live with that and eat it. Oh, I know. The weirdest thing I had was I went to Vietnam one time, and there's this big jug, and it had a dead cobra and a dead chicken inside of it, and we were just drinking out of that.
What?
Okay. I
What? What?
It's happy water. It's good.
Well, I'm gonna try and put all that behind us.
Okay, so
And
so
it's-
my next question is, you've traveled the world, obviously.
Stole my
little-
question.
Well, then go ahead and ask it,
I
Kyle.
was just gonna say, what other cool places have you been to, Katie?
So I've been to Hong Kong. I went to Belize. I went to Vietnam. I went to the Galapagos
Oh,
and
wow.
Ecuador.
That must have been cool.
And did I go anywhere else? I don't know. Canada. Oh.
Now, is all these like for pleasure, or did you go for business on most of these trips?
South Korea was business, because I also went there too. But the other places were just, hey, it's Christmas time. We have 2 weeks. Let's go do something.
Go do
different.
somewhere and eat
go
different
Do
guinea
stuff.
pigs with jars of snakes and stuff.
Whatever comes your
And
way. Yeah.
silkworms.
That's
Um,
wow. Like I'm talking to you, and all I think of is that Desekis or DeQuessis commercial, whatever the beer commercial. Where it's like, I'm the most interesting person in the world, and I think you probably take the cake for that one there, Katie. So
I don't have enough facial hair to pull
well,
that
you don't
off.
need facial hair to be interesting. You need to be interesting to be interesting.
like
So, I mean,
Just, I don't know.
well, I mean, I'm sure you could borrow some from Troy's head. Just kind of cut it off and glue it on your face.
You guys should definitely make a Motiga is the most interesting game company, like commercial, just for fun, with all of you guys just saying some weird stuff.
That needs to happen. I think that will eventually
It
happen.
would be a good promotional thing.
You should
We
you should write up a list of questions to ask everybody and just see what all the random answers are.
That would be
It'd
amazing.
be awesome.
I think I will start a thread and see if we can get that to happen.
Let's do that.
Yeah, well, So I'm not really sure where to go after drinking a snake jar thing. That's like that really kind of threw me off my normal.
One of my favorite dishes that I ever had that I'll probably never have again was just a bowl of freshly roasted peanuts, cilantro, and duck's blood.
Duck's blood?
Quack quack, duck's blood.
Oh,
Just liquid blood, just eating it.
that's like healthy?
No, it's delicious. It's probably healthy.
I don't know. That sounds weird.
It was
My brother-
delicious.
My brother's been to China on like business, so yeah, he like had to eat the food, like he didn't have a choice. And he said they had like chicken feet, and he took a picture of them, and it was the creepiest thing I've ever seen. It looked like little baby hands, like
Chicken
Oh,
feet, yeah,
yeah.
chicken feet are
Yeah,
creepy.
they look weird.
They're okay. They're not bad. They're just kind of rubbery and floppy and grizzly.
So,
Yeah.
so Katie, I'm starting to get the impression that you will try anything at least once.
Like give it a shot. And well, the other thing is, If I hate something, the hatred intrigues me, and so I'll keep trying something even though I don't like it.
Interesting.
I'll be like, why don't I like this?
Greg is asking, ask Katie who's going to win Pictionary tomorrow.
Oh, whoever has the strongest heart.
It's a very diplomatic
That's
answer.
a deep answer.
So, Greg, you better just beef up your heart with
So-
alcohol.
So Pictionary has to be like football to Motiga because you guys have obviously very talented artists. So if someone's trying to draw a ball, how detailed does that actually get?
Oh, I mean, we're going for simple art style, so it's probably just like, football, stitch, stitch.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's fair enough because like I've always wanted to play Pictionary with people that know like actually know how to draw rather than myself, who's like draw a cow and I like draw a really crude cow that has two legs sticking out of either side and they're not like perspectivized or anything. But I'm you know what if it ever comes to the point where Motiga like we can play Pictionary online. That needs to happen because.
I'll do a Pictionary throwdown. I think it's super fun.
All right. Sounds
Definitely.
good. Sounds
I don't
good.
see why not.
We'll put that in the books, and I want Greg on my team just for funsies.
I bet he's really good at it. I don't know why.
Really,
Seems like he would be.
is he like a good guesser?
I'm not really sure. I just have a sense that Greg's probably like a secret Pictionary pro.
I'm probably terrible at it. Have you guys seen Where the
I
Millers?
say Greg, Troy. Lord of the Millers, no.
Never mind. I can't get detailed about the movie scene because it's inappropriate, but definitely watch Where the Millers. It's hilarious, and you'll see why I'm talking about that with Pictionary. That's how I would be if anyone's seen that.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Now, have you ever played the card game Apples to Apples?
I haven't, but I have played Cards Against Humanity, which I hear is kind of like it.
It's basically the kinky, naughty adult version of Apples to Apples.
I thought you were going to say Apples to Apples is the kinky adult version of Cards Against Humanity.
No. Apples to Apples is like the very non-kinky sexualized version of that game.
Apples to apples.
Is it all fruit based?
No.
No.
It's the same thing that Cards Against Humanity is, but you can play it with like a 7-year-old, and he won't ask, "What's that, mommy?" So, now the only reason I asked that is because, do you guys play that in the office? Is that like a game you guys play, the Cards Against Humanity?
I haven't yet, but in Seattle, like Cards Against Humanity has sort of become like I think a standard party game.
Right.
Like everybody seems to have it. So I run into it fairly frequently. But not Apples to Apples. I think Apples to Apples is in the office, but I haven't played it myself.
So Greg says he has the core set. So Greg, you need to bring that into the office one day and have everyone play on Friday when everyone's really drunk, because that usually makes it a whole lot better. When everyone's really, really, really drunk. Speaking of alcohol, what is your favorite alcoholic beverage?
I guess right now, I really, really like old fashions. You get a nice, like rye based anything in there, and that's quite nice. Not too sweet, just a little sweet. That's really good.
Now, so are you like a hard liquor drinker, or can you handle beer at all?
So I used to, if I drank like a beer, I'd get really drunk really fast because I was sensitive to it.
Really?
And yeah, I don't know why. Like I could drink just tequila shot, I'm fine, and I like tequila. But like one beer, I'm like, Corona, why? What happened?
Anyone who drinks Corona says that, so it's okay. I understand.
Yeah. But I would say I live in Seattle, and there's definitely a culture of beer up here. And living in Seattle, I've learned to enjoy what I'm drinking, even if I don't necessarily wouldn't go to beer. It's my first choice most of the time. When I first came up here, Guinness tasted nasty, and now it tastes like chocolate.
Guinness is amazing. It's the best.
Learned
drink
to like
ever.
it. And there are a lot of like amazing local brews like in the whole Northwest area. It's beer central. Man, if you want to drink beer, come to Seattle.
Now,
Or
Kyle,
Portland.
this conversation does not apply to you because you're underage. So
I know, I'm just hanging out.
cover your ears. Adults are speaking.
Oh gosh, headsets off.
Oy vey. So, Kyle, we have about 10 minutes left. So, do you have any more questions for Miss Katy?
I don't know if you figured it out yet, but what your 3 favorite cartoons are. We've had a while to think about that, but I don't want to pressure you on that.
It's true. It's true. I've had all this time to think. So I don't know. Start talking about something because I tend to. The way my brain works is I kind of breadcrumb it. So if I'm getting led along a little bit, I'll be like, oh yeah, this and this and this. But if I'm like sitting by myself, I'm like,
Pat might have to help you with that because my cartoons are way different than your cartoons, probably.
Okay, well then I'm actually curious, Kyle. What are your cartoons? Because I don't know any current generation cartoons at all.
My favorite cartoons? Ooh.
Okay,
Ed,
okay.
Ed, and Eddie.
Wait, all time. This is all time favorites, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So am I going first?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Okay.
The Rugrats were awesome, and still is awesome. The Kids Next Door. That was pretty cool.
I don't remember that one.
What else was cool? SpongeBob, but I mean, who doesn't like SpongeBob when they're little?
SpongeBob
and-
is like an adult show now, though.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
I
there's
watch it and
so
I'm just
many
like,
adult humors. I'm just like, wow, that's really kinky and raunchy.
Yeah.
Why
I'm
is
like,
this a
I
kid
told-
show?
I totally get why parents are like, no, my kid shouldn't be watching that show. And I don't know if we're gonna count it as a cartoon because it's definitely an adult show. But I love South Park and I love the crappy art they do because it's awesome.
Technically, it's a cartoon.
It's super
yeah.
funny.
It's great.
Super funny.
It's yeah,
Oh,
it is
man.
a cartoon.
So I think all-time favorite territory, Ren and Stimpy's in there. Definitely Ren and Stimpy.
Okay.
I would say probably just because of how much I've watched, I would say probably the first 5 years of The Simpsons.
Okay, that's fair.
It's definitely in there. Oh, God, it's just so funny. South Park's one of the shows where whenever it's on, I'm having a blast, but I never think of it as like a go-to,
Yeah.
even though I enjoy it.
I've seen
I'm not
every
sure
single
why.
episode.
And the old Johnny Quest from a long time ago.
Johnny Quest. That's
It
that's old
holds
school.
up so well. It's still like, it's definitely a
you
created
were
in
gonna-
its age.
I thought you were gonna say like Johnny Bravo, and I was like, oh, I know that one too, but nope, I have no idea what
Nope.
Johnny Quest is.
Johnny Quest, like the actually kind of going back to your style question, the style of Johnny Quest I think is one of the strongest styles ever and still holds up. It's gorgeous. That intro song, just
I'm gonna
gets
have
me
to look it up
going
now.
every time. It's just da-na, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-bum-bum. It's super 60s. Just, it's an adventure out there. You're going for it. Your dad's a scientist. You've got like this like ripped awesome dude. He's like your best buddy, and then like your weird like friend that you found somewhere and a dog. I don't know. It's weird.
Yep.
It's it's definitely because of when it was created, it has a lot of sexist and racist
Well, a
things.
lot of those shows did back then anyway. I mean,
Yeah. So it has significant flaws, but the stories and the characters are still very solid, and I still really really enjoy it a lot. Thomas got mad style for movies. The Thief and the Cobbler,
Oh
I
my
think it's one of
gosh.
its names. Style, oh my God, it's amazing.
That
And-
sounds familiar.
It came out, I think they published it just after Aladdin, but it had been worked on for about 30 years, I think. And the thing that is on video, I would recommend going online and finding the rehashed version where they've removed the stuff that was kind of tacked on, because it's a better experience, where they kind of jammed some songs into it and a lot of dialogue in
Right.
the movie version where it's like it's jarring while you're watching it. You're like, where'd this scene come from? This is
too
weird.
much, too much. It's just too much. Why?
Why is Princess Yum Yum doing this all of a sudden? I don't know why. But like the war machine in that movie is amazing, and I wouldn't say that the villain carries that movie, but the thief in that movie is one of the most wonderful characters ever. He's just strange and unique, and I would say that the background is the biggest character of all. The backgrounds are just insane. Kudos to all the people working on that film. It's amazing.
Speaking of War Machine, one of my all-time favorite old school movies is Short Circuit.
Oh yeah. I like Short Circuit.
The The first time I was ever allowed to watch a movie with the cuss word in it, because he's like, one of the scenes he's like, "Where's shit? I don't see shit." Because they were talking about something, but he took it as the literal sense. So, and I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. So that definitely reminded me of Short Circuit, which is just a great movie. Kyle, if you've never seen that movie, go watch it. It's
Nope, never seen
dude,
it.
it is a fantastic
I'm gonna have
freaking
to.
movie.
See, this whole time I thought Kylo was like probably you and Maya's age, and now I'm beginning to go like, whoa.
No,
Wow, I blended
no.
in that good? Chat didn't think I blended in good at all. Chat's been.
Well, see, your voice sounds old, your look sounds young, so
Oh,
it's
that's
all good.
Nice.
So one of my all-time favorite cartoons was some of the original Batman cartoons with Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Oh yes, yeah, that
His
show's awesome.
Joker, and when he does the Joker, even
That
in
is the Joker.
I
That
mean,
is
yeah,
the Joker.
it's the
There's
Joker.
no other Joker.
Yeah.
That's the Joker.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know who played
Nailed
the
it.
Joker in that new Batman movie that like just came out and
Go
then he passed away.
Go watch this cartoon.
I
Go
don't
watch
know,
this
in that new
cartoon.
Batman movie, that was the best Joker I've ever seen.
well,
He
yeah,
did. He did an
Chills.
awesome job.
live action
He's the
wise,
second
Yes.
best Joker.
live
Second
action
best
wise,
Joker.
yep.
How's that?
Now I gotta go watch old Batman. too.
No,
Yeah,
you
no, I
you
told
really
him.
do, dude. I mean, the way that Mark Hamill was able to portray the Joker is just like, because I mean, he's Luke Skywalker. That's really all I know him for, to be quite honest with you, because that's all I know him for. But I mean, to hear his voice, I mean, you don't actually hear it because he disguises it so well.
Yeah.
But the way he does it is just insane. Like, you get the feeling of the Joker is literally bat crazy. Like he's nuts. So I mean, I would really suggest watching that, good sir. So
I'm making a list, mental list.
It's like if you watch a couple episodes, like my favorite episode from that is the How I Got Him, Almost Got Him episode where they're all playing poker, the villains, and they're
Yes.
all relaying their Batman stories. Like, that's how I almost got him, almost got the Batman.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like Croc and Joker. and
Croc, Joker,
everything.
Penguin, and a
It's
bunch
so
of other.
good.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Classic.
It's such a fabulous. That show, I think, changed a lot of people's views on what could be done on the cartoon.
Oh, definitely. I would
It's
definitely agree
very
with that.
intense.
Very intense.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
So good. Just yeah. See, Kyle, you've been born at the generation where everyone's learned how to make cool TV shows. We
So
grew
I
up when
just
they were
gotta see
like,
stuff.
making them and getting there, and like 3D technology and animation was like being discovered. Like I remember all the old 3D TV shows like Reboot and stuff that were just like really
yeah.
really classic. Like, that's another show you need to watch is Reboot. I'm so
I
mad
was-
that movie got canceled. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, so angry. But anyway, before we go off on a tangent,
Of that generation, I really enjoyed watching Beast Wars.
oh my gosh, that was the
Kinda-
best show in the 90s, period.
Much cheesiness, but much goodness between it. Like all about Dinobot. That character's
Dino-
art is
yes.
wonderful.
Dinobot, yes. I have a character in Wild
I
Star
painted
named
my van to
Dinobot.
look like him, and people kept asking me what I was hunting in it.
Do you still have the van?
No, it was
Oh.
a really old minivan when I got it.
Do you have any pictures you can put on Twitter?
I have a picture somewhere. I'll have to dig it up.
Okay,
It's-
because you need to do that 'cause
Yes,
I want
I
to
gotta
see
see-
that.
I
Now-
just want to see it.
Now,
just sounds-
was it the original Dinobot or was it the Transmetal 1 or 2?
it was the Beast Wars Dinobot.
The Beast Wars version. Okay, cool.
So I actually had a dream that I was Dinobot floating in space, monologuing after I'd killed Megatron. It was the best dream I ever had.
Kyle's blank stares like, who the hell
I
is
know, I'm so
Megatron?
lost. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, dude,
No, he's-
you've seen the original you've seen the Transformers movies, right?
Yeah, no, I know who.
Okay, just making sure.
Dinobot and Megatron just throwing me off. I'm thinking Dinobot, and for some reason the little Motiga Dino is popping in my head. but it doesn't
Dinobot-
look like that at all.
So Dinobot was basically the equivalent to Starscream in the first movie. He was like Megatron's right hand kind of man. Well, I guess. Never mind. Anyway, let's not nerd out too much. Katy, anything that you would like to plug, social media or anything, events coming up or anything that you wanna plug?
I guess in November there's a convention down in Burbank called CTNX.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm gonna have a booth at that, or
Awesome.
booth table. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. And for people who aren't familiar with it, it's this really wonderful animation convention that's all people who love animation and make animation. And like, it's such a good positive feeling being there. I just get high just hanging out with people. It's so fun.
Very cool.
So,
Is there a website that people can go to possibly get tickets or anything?
yeah. I think it's like ctnxexpo.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I would type in Google CTNX Expo and then it should just pop up.
Cool. Awesome. Well, if you guys are in the area, I would definitely check that out because I've had buddies that have gone to it a couple times and just come back like this. Like the technology that they sometimes can preview is just so cool. So I wish I could go, but that's a long drive.
Yeah.
I live in
It's far
Ohio,
away.
so yeah.
I'm all the way on the other side of the country.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fortunate I live close enough where it's not too crazy, but yeah.
Kyle, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Exapo, XZAPO, and you can follow me on Twitter at Exapo, XZAPO. That's
All right.
about it right now. Yeah.
Cool. Katy, I know that you have a Twitter. What is your Twitter handle?
I don't know.
Well, I got you. I think it's just your name, to be honest.
I think
It
it's
is.
I think
It
it's
is.
just my name.
Your
Somebody
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, you should go on Twitter," and so I went on Twitter and I think I hit follow, but I think mostly I just share Pandora songs I like on it.
Hey, that's okay. That's all right.
I think
Yeah.
your last tweet was like 60 days ago or something.
No, she retweeted the thing that we're doing right now. So, but to follow her on Twitter, it is at Katy Hargrove. So go ahead and follow her for all cool Pandora songs and 3D creations. But you know what? I've had a lot of fun talking with you, Katy. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Anything else that you wanna end the show with? Do you have any final thoughts or comments?
I don't know. I want to talk more about cartoons with you guys.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
I don't want to go to work today. I just want to talk about cartoons.
Cartoons.
Let's just start watching cartoons.
Well, you know what, Katy, we will definitely have you on again, and we can talk more about cartoons and cool things that we can make Kyle feel uncomfortable about. So,
Yeah. I'll step up my cartoon game for next
When I
time.
was your age.
when I was your age, we had to walk uphill both ways to see SpongeBob. And we had to get on an elliptical to do it, to power the TV. The good old days. Yeah. Anyway. All right, guys. This has been a production of GG Unleashed, ggunleashed.com. Follow us on Twitter. GG_Unleashed, I believe, is the Twitter handle. Yes, it is. Also, there's Gumby in the... What is that, Katy? Is that a cow?
It's Puppy Cat from Being Puppy Cat. And
Okay.
actually, Being Puppy Cat, it airs November 6th, and it's going to be the most awesome cartoon ever.
Nice. I'll have to,
I'm excited about it.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
What channel is that going to be on?
I don't know.
Frederator? It's not a channel. I think it's just going to be on YouTube or something.
YouTube?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Look it up. It's going to be. I'm excited about it.
Also, don't forget to check out the Gigantic website. It is www.gogigantic.com.
Yes.
You can follow them on Twitter at GoGigantic. Also, MotigaStudios.com, I believe, is their website for Motiga. And I think it's just at Motiga Studios for the Twitter handle as well. So make sure to follow everyone on the Motiga side for Twitters. And that's the show, everyone. Kyle, Katy, thank you so much for being on. And we'll see you and the rest of the community either on Reddit. I was going to say Facebook, but I don't think you guys have. Do you guys have an active Facebook yet?
I
Don't know?
think
Okay.
So. I think
What's
it's like
Facebook?
Joe Go Gigantic or something on
Okay,
Facebook.
all right. Well, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ask Troy. I don't know.
No one uses Facebook anymore. Twitter's the better thing anyway. So.
I was at GameStop the other day, and someone was talking about League of Legends and Smite, and I was like, no, you guys gotta look at Gigantic. That's the next big thing. And they were like,
Yes.
what's that? And I was
Name
like,
drop.
just go look it up. You're just gonna be hooked. And I
Very
saw one of the
nice.
guys today, he was like, dude, thank you. And I was like, no problem.
That's
Aw,
awesome.
oh,
Very
that's
cool.
awesome. Thank
Very
you.
awesome. Very
Yep.
awesome. Also, remember, we do have an IRC channel where you can interact and talk with the community, and some of the developers are also there. But you can't ask them any NDA-related questions, and they will not be able to tell you anything about the game specifically because, hey, that's the rules in the chat. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Community, we'll see you guys on social media. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.